So I'm doing a quick little video after hours just to show you the walk up to our shop and to give you a feel of how large we are. I've already turned off a bunch of the lights because it is closing time, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick walkthrough. As with any of our other videos on YouTube, our Facebook Lives, our Instagram, Facebook photos, if you see anything that catches your eye, please do not hesitate to reach out to us and ask for more information. Now, I kind of blocked the trains because I brought in our signs, our sandwich boards that go out at the end of the road. And you can see we have Kevin, the train guy. He's in this corner. He is one of the only 3 vendors that does not offer a discount in our shop. All of our other vendors, besides the coins and the general store, offer at least 20% off items not marked firm, and that is going to be the same price for you for cash or credit card. Now, if we are shipping to you, we can do your credit card payment right over the phone during business hours, or you can pay us safe and securely through PayPal as well. If we are shipping to you, we do send you a PayPal invoice regardless of how you are paying us, just so you can see the breakdown of all the charges. And I say all the charges because we do have people that we ship to all over that purchase multiple items, so you have your receipt that way as well. I'm just this is the front room when you walk in. I know some people look at it like, don't go so fast, don't go past that, I want to see that. But like I said, I'm just trying to do a total walkthrough of the shop, so I'm not going to focus on one specific booth or vendor or area or item, just because I really want to get you to have a feel of what our shop is like. And like I said, we did turn off, when I say we, it's me because Don's at work now, I did turn off the lights. So there's going to be a couple little pockets that might be a little bit darker, and I did turn off the case lights already, but you can see this is the case room. We call this the case room because this is where all of our locked cases are. And on the cases, no vendor has the whole case. Nobody wanted a full case. So we have rented out each shelf to them. So you'll see an eclectic mix of everything. And again, everybody in this room is at least 20% off if it is not marked firm. So, and we have a couple of vendors who have booths that have so many items that they've also taken a bookcase in this room. So we do have 7 bookcases like this in this room. This is Vintage Crush, as well as 2 built-ins. Now this is Betty's Treasures, who has this spot, as well as a shelf in the case. And then if you come around this, and this is Belmont Farmhouse on the end of this. So you'll see that there's a cluster of bookcases right here. They go back to back. And these are 2 different vendors here. We have the Cat's Meow on the right and Star Wars on the left. So that's why you see the different discounts. And this is Belmont Farmhouse, an extension of, who has a booth in the back. So I'm going to try not to go too fast. I know how disconcerting it can be when cameras spin too quickly. So over here we also have 2 vendors here. We have the Robin's Nest in the right bookcase, and on the left we have, I don't remember the name. This is just a hodgepodge of some items from a few vendors in here. And again, 20% off. Now in this corner we have, this is also another one of the built-ins. I'm going to walk back just so you can see the utility doors there do have a bunch of littles as well taped on them. And we have artwork. We try to use every ounce of space, an inch of space in this shop. So this, we call him the Major, and he is a retired Major from the U.S. Army, did serve during Vietnam, and was a lifetime Army gentleman. And he's got a bunch of Army-related items, and they are also, as you know, 20% off. And the Major also has this bookcase here as well on the end of the 6 that I had shown you earlier. So he has more of the Star Wars and other sci-fi collectibles in here as well. And I'm going to come up slowly because I don't like to spin too quickly. Most of these things we can ship. We can basically ship anything, but it gets to the point of the fees. If you go over 12 by 12 by 12 total cubic feet, the post office whacks you with fees for the size of the box, not the weight. It's more about the size that they really go after you. So you can see this front case as well on the bottom has a ton of plates, and in here we also have multiple vendors as well. And the bottom shelf is Jazzy Junk, which we visited with just a few weeks ago on here on our YouTube. And then the middle shelf is the Bronx Man Cave. He specializes in a lot of political items, World 64 and 39 New York World's Fair, Civil War items, all kinds of hodgepodge of things. And up here we do have Redeemable. And like I said, I did turn off the case light. So normally, I'm going to get this one. It is nice and bright in here. And this is one of Redeemable's, this is Burning Sensation on this one. And you're always going to take that 20% off of the price on the tag, not marked firm. So that 15 became 12, 6 becomes just $4.80. And here's another. We have 2 lock cases on this side with multiple vendors in them as well. And these 2 shelves, this one and this one, are 30% off vendors. And then we get down to Good to Go here, where that purse is. I'm sorry to do this to you guys. And he is a 20% off vendor. And there's multiple vendors mixed within. And all the vendors in this bookcase are now 20% off. And that is, the top shelf is Burning Sensation. Our middle shelf is Andover Junction, the oldest vendor, not as far as age goes, but she's been with the shop. She's an original one from when we were across the street, and it was called Slackyville back in 2002. Stayed on when it changed to Gray Barn in 2012, and when we bought the business in 2013, which this September 1st is our 10 years as the owners of Gray Barn. And June marks 2 years being in this location, 134 Main Street, the larger. We're going to pass by our general store, which has a lot of different candies and stuff. We had started with honey, which we still do have. We have local honey from right up the road, Harvey Honey. We had to get with the town. We have to have a food handler's license. We pay for every year. So I said, you know what? I got excited when we were out in Pennsylvania, and I found that they still make ice cubes. So I looked into it and found that I could get wholesale accounts. So we've got some of these fun vintage candies that you just can't find everywhere else. And we also had a lot of other foods, products, jams and jellies, and we discontinued those, but we've decided, because apparently one of the things that's difficult to find is apple butter. So we went back with Cooper's Mill. We only have one brand now for the jams and jellies. We just have a small selection. And we've also brought back in peanuts, Virginia Diner, which has been around since 1929. These peanuts have not been. These are all nice and fresh. And we brought those back in. And coming on this shelf, we had so many requests to get the fudge back in. It's from Wisconsin. It's so good. It's the best fudge. Super creamy, awesome, delicious. So we're getting a few of that back in. So we're just not going to, because this whole wall here at one point was like a big, all kinds of jams and jellies from Scotland and all these other foods. And we found they weren't doing as well. I think sometimes when there's too much of things, it's harder to decide. So you'll find in this booth on this side, there's new scarves and towels and cute little handkerchiefs and some, these are temporary tattoos. They're the henna tattoos that you can do yourself. You just rub them on your skin kind of thing. And then it transitions into vintage items in this booth as well. So this is all in the front area of the shop. You can see, like I said, you can, if you don't have the ability to do a screenshot, just tell me at what minute marker in the video, because then I can pull it up that way right on our computer. And you can see we have this whole corner is vintage, goes around to here. And we also, and it gets back into the new stuff again. So we have the soy melts here, which have been very popular. New Orleans soaps. And then our number one soap seller is the goat's milk that is made over in Maryland. And we have a few different ones of that. We have the body wash as well. These are awesome foaming soaps. They really work quite well. And I do have a lady that keeps buying. She loves these foot loofahs. And then I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. And over here we have some fun new things. We have the little tea caddies that you put your loose tea in on the bottom. We have some really cute little brand new little bling pieces of little brooches. We've been doing very well with these fountain pens. And we have the ink things for them. Miniatures we've been doing very well with. We have these cool thimbles that are actually adjustable. And they're very nice and strong. New scissors. Like I said, this booth is a mix of that whole corner's vintage, but then we have a lot of the newer stuff over here, the change purses, new watches. These are the music boxes that people just love. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. These are just the Harry Potter. We have other ones, but we have so many Harry Potters, we keep them together. I don't know if I can do this with just one hand. Well, it sounds really good. It says on the lid. I'm not being able to do that, excuse me, with one hand, but it's so good that my husband has that as his ringtone. He thought his mother was calling him. We have the Coyer candles, which are a soy with an all-natural cotton wick. The larger 14, the smaller 9, and they smell fantastic. And then we get back into the candies and the snacks. And yes, the bubblegum machine does work. It is new. You can get these actually on Amazon. I was pleasantly surprised by the quality. This is glass, this is metal. The only plastic compartment on here is this little lid, and that's fine. The rest of it is just, it's really made quite well. And I did get that off Amazon. You put it together yourself. It's super easy. You can get the gumballs from them. It was really a nice find. Not a crazy price, and I know it works. I want to use a vintage one to have gum coming out of. We do very well with the Pockies, and you can see we've got a nice little selection of everything here. And over on this side is some more candy as well. So we try to get like the nostalgic and the fun candies. I got these in because my son loves, I'm going to probably say this wrong, I get in trouble with him every time. Naruto candies, it's the little ramen candies. And I got them for him, and it turns out people love these. So we've been selling out of those, actually. And then it transitions this booth. I'm going to step back a hair. I'm actually waiting on a response for those Santas. I had sent a picture with the prices for one of my customers who asked. She had seen them in an earlier video on Facebook from one of our friends, Yesterday's Tomorrow's, who does gorgeous work with transfers and paints and everything. She actually did a live from our shop today. So that was a lot of fun. So this music cabinet's not for sale, but all the ephemera inside of it. And anyway, one of the customers saw her go buy these Santas, so she wanted more information. And that's what we did. We will gladly get you that information. So these drawers are filled with ephemera and stickers. We do have new stickers. We have the collage cards as well as new greeting cards. And the greeting cards are just $1. So we have those for people that are in the need of that. And then over in this spot is also our ephemera continues. We got these really great tarot cards in, more about the art, and they really do have cool artwork. We have a lot of Harry Potter items. We have pins. We have some of the wands, and we do have a lot of ephemera, new and old. Postcards as low as $1, and I would show you this, but I already bought that when it came in. And some more little miniature owls. Like I said, this is usually nice and lit up, but I just want to do a quick walking tour. I killed the lights earlier to close up. So this front booth is Auntie's attic. So you get, this is like what we call the great room. This is where you enter and you'll come upon her booth first. I'm going to head to the left first. And over here, we're going to find On Second Thought. So, and you'll see these, I'm sure in my past YouTube videos, you can get a sense of where their booths are now in the shop. And we do not ship the furniture, but you're more than welcome if you're local. We will gladly hold it. I mean, we can hold it for like a week. You can pay over the phone. We got a lot of contemporary chandeliers priced very, very well. This is just $60 for this one. This is metal. This is the little plastic that looks vintage. And as I always tell everybody, I say this Wednesday night at 5:30, I do a Facebook Live, and I'll show pieces that have, like, people want a little more character, more farmhouse finish to it. Don't be afraid. If you see something that you like, but it's just the wrong color, you can easily change that. You can dry brush that chandelier if it's too dark for you, or just leave it as is. This is also a continuation of Auntie's attic here in these two bookcases and that little bit of wall space here. Everybody in the back room is at least 20% off. We have the Bronx Man Cage. These signs do light up. Like I said, I can go back and turn those lights on just so you can see. And he is 25% off. And you can see he's got a ton of ephemera, World's Fair, beer items, Civil War up there. That is from the World's Fair, that wheel toy up there. A lot of games and stuff. The porcelain license plates. He recently reduced these. So you're going to take 25% off of that 35. I think it was like 29. I forget what it was. I just put those up on Instagram and Facebook the other day. And when I say Instagram and Facebook, everything I post on Instagram, I feed right over to our Facebook page. Now, everything on Facebook is not necessarily on Instagram because I do share some fun links and things that I find, and it's not as easy to share that on Instagram. So I found, like today, I found a really cool website on upcycling different things. So yeah, that shelf is still there because we're still waiting to get that front furnace fixed from our fiasco last week with the heating oil that spilled. Now over here, this is Vintage Crush, and I'll be visiting her probably next week. I have not visited with her booth in a bit. We have a lot of awesome bird cages in here right now, and look at the prices on these. $28, and this is a functioning bird cage. You do have the tray to pull out to clean it. It is just simply a stunning bird cage. And as you can see, I have 2 more up there from, I'm going to step back so you can get a feel for this. This is our Burning Sensation Antiques. He has this booth. He has these 2 on this side of the shop and then 1 more on the other side. And we did mention him while we were in the case room. You can see he's got this gorgeous finish on his brass and copper. When he first moved in, I thought this stuff was repro because it's so clean. No, he just works really hard on it. Acid, whatever it takes, he restores the finish on that. The gentleman, Ron, is also an amazing carpenter. You see this beautiful counter, this kitchen center island table, whatever you want to use it for, right? $400. He did this. He made this. This is bedposts with this luscious green on here. It's just so beautiful, this forest green, and that's $400. Here's the measurements. It is a larger piece. Make sure you have the room for it. I wanted this. We can't figure out how to get it into the room I wanted in my house, because for me, I used to make the signs, and this way on the top, I can actually lay the boards down, put my stencil on it, do my painting. Underneath, I'd be able to run my silhouette, the long pieces of stencil material, but in a kitchen too. I mean, this is just a fabulous piece that it's got to find a home. We had 2 smaller ones that went out like as soon as they came in. So he made this one. This is the most recent one. Now he also did these charcuterie boards, which are just $36 each. They, as you can see, they're footed. And check out this table. Now, I do post, as I said, on Instagram and Facebook, pictures of these items, but sometimes you cannot appreciate in full the item itself. So this is actually $360. So I can show you a little bit more. I mean, it's got all the original. This cart had the handle here at one point, and I mean, look at the finish on this tabletop. Just a gorgeous piece. I've had a few people who live distances. One person was trying to figure out how to get this down to Tennessee. So you see on this side, he does have the legs on there, so it's not going to roll away. It's just an amazing piece. And he does, so like this shelf here, this was a piano, part of a piano. And these lights, most of these do work. These are all, that's where he gets the name Burning Sensation, because all these original oil lamps that are brought back to work. Now this is the kind that you'd pull up, and it does have the protection belt up there so you're not burning your ceiling. So these are all functioning. And you might have seen some of his items, a lot of his furniture and lighting was featured in HBO's Gilded Age. When they were still over at the Black Rose over in Phillipsburg, they came in, the stage designer, the set designer, and bought a ton of their stuff. They got some stuff from the other shops around here, but a lot of the furniture and stuff that you see in there from the Gilded Age, it had to be 1882 or older. And as you can see, Burning Sensation Antiques fits that bill to get those true antique pieces. So, and again, you're taking at least 20% off everybody in the back here. And this is one of 2 of Redeemables booths. Like I said, many of our vendors have multiple space in here, which is why when I do my videos, I focus on just one vendor at a time usually. You can see how long this is taking us just to, we only walked through part of the shop. We're not even on the other half. We haven't even gotten upstairs yet. This is the rest of Burning Sensation Antiques. And here's another one of his fantastic tables that he's done. The barrels, he makes those tops for them. I did feature that one today on Instagram, Facebook, and you'll see the measurements on there. They come in, they go right back out. He custom makes these nice tabletops for them. So you can see it's a nice old barrel. This one's painted blue inside. And you can actually use these like a little table, whatever. We actually have people that are doing their daughter's wedding theme is Prohibition. So they're having the little barrel tables and such throughout the reception. So we have a ton of artwork. Most of it's on the walls, but sometimes there's not enough room. So you will see sometimes the vendors do have the frames and such on the floor. We have a lot of ephemera in here. Most of our vendors come in at least twice a week, many of them, sometimes 3 times a week, constantly restocking. So, and he actually made this shelf as well. So we have don't have the measurements on here. I've had them up before, so that's 120 for that. And then this artwork here and the mirrors on this portion of the wall where you see that line on the right here, this is redeemable. So she gets a lot of oil paintings, lamps, mirrors, always a nice selection. So now we're getting ready to turn into the back half of the shop. And there's just kind of a little eclectic mix along here. And we come along here. And this, we call this the stage. Because when we first moved in here, we actually were using this to do our Facebook Lives. And the reception just wasn't good. And then this young vendor here, whose space I'm kind of showing you right now, Good to Go, started with a bookcase and needed a booth. So we actually moved him into a booth, and the person that was in that booth moved up to the stage. We had to empty off the whole stage to get the vendor up here. And then eventually she moved into another spot on the floor on the other side, and Nick took this portion of the stage, and starting May 1st, he's going to have the whole stage. So that 20% off is off that red price. So that red box right there now becomes $16. So he doesn't have firm on there. This curio is a great price. It does have the key. The floor up here is a little wonky, so the door does open up on its own. It has spooked people. It does have a light in there, and they've given it like this rustic finish to it. And you do have the glass shelves in there still, and all the glass corner pieces, which is often the part that is broken, and that costs you the most. And he has this other cabinet here for sale as well. It does have both doors. And that also has glass shelves. I don't have the measurements on that, but that one is now $195, and that is 20% off as well. And you can see this one does light up as well. It is a fantastic display piece. And of course, all the items in it are for sale. The door's opening again. Don's going to put a little piece underneath it so that the floor's the way it tilts the whole floor. I mean, it's an old floor. So he put in these shelves himself. He got these long boards out of a house clean out and was able to allocate them in this space. And the amount of time it took him putting hooks, he put all these hooks along every shelf. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves, and he put hooks on all of them to get the most out of this space. So, like I said, these lights do work, and I killed the light switches earlier, and he has this bookcase here as well. And then we have the Christmas corner, which May 1st will be moving to the floor down below, where I'm going to show you. And here's our CJ's Finds, who unfortunately is going to be leaving us for a bit. So she is currently 50% off, and then Nick will keep taking that space. I'm going to turn slowly and show you he has got a ton of vinyl. And a lot of it is graded, and it's in the sleeves, and it is 20% off. And from what I've heard, the prices are fantastic. This is Jefferson Starship for just $5.60. Some of them are still sealed. And he'll be bringing the area behind me where I just showed you. He was going to be building a more accessible place for the records for his vinyl. This little piece here, I'm going to show you the tag. He marked this down. It's just $39, so it's like $31.20 or something like that. And it is nice old wood piece that when I had the paint across the street, I redid a piece like this. It came out beautiful, and after I redid it, it just flew right out the shop. So this light here is just $38 and 20% off. If you look online for the comps on this light has sold before online for much more. So I'm going to head on down. There was a bookcase on the end there, but one of the bookcases, I'll show you on the other side of the shop, was one of the victims of our oil spill. So he'll be pulling one out of the garage, but for now that's just a temporary holding spot there. So as you can see, there's more stuff here, and the Christmas corner will be moving down here. There's going to be more changes back here with the books and such. So now one of our other vendors here is the Lazy Q Ranch. And she has a lot of great glassware and stuff. So I'm mentioning the names because like today I put this up on our Instagram, Facebook. This is newer. It does have, you can see it has like those the color changing little fiber optic. It's a little Christmas Easter wreath, and that is just $12. I just gotta make sure I turn it off. I don't want to kill the battery. I also don't want to knock down the glass stuff. I saw these. This is a cute deal on these, 13 and then 20% off for the set of 3, and they're all different. And you have the rooster, and the other one is the dog, the little swanky swigs. Ooh, I don't want to. Those are cute. So yeah, like I said, I'm trying not to focus on one thing tonight. I just want to give you a full a tour to give you a total layout of our shop. This is the book nook, as you can see why it's called that. And the prices of the books, if you come in here in person, our books, Executive Sweeties, oh my. Our prices are, it looks like 9 to 5. They don't look too happy. So the prices are right in there in the Post-it notes, and they're not ruining the book. And then it's going to be 20% off of that, so $240. Some leftover fall stuff. We have a couple pieces. We're waiting for people. These are paid for. They have to come in and pick them up still. We have a lot of people closing on home, so fortunately, we were able to accommodate this time and hold the pieces. That's not always the case. So we have some things that need to be picked up that'll be leaving soon. Oh, that's pretty. So yeah, did you turn the corner back here? Everywhere you go, there's stuff. So this shelf is just $9.60. And if you don't like it, again, you can paint it, but you're not going to get the wood for that price. And this tag, do I feel the tag? What is he, a Post-it note? Okay, so this is actually one of my other vendors. And she is actually a 30% off. So this beautiful landscape becomes $17.50. So that's where the vendor code number comes important. She's vendor number 56. We're going to transfer now over to vendor 48, who has this little ledge here. And she's a 20% off vendor. And you'll see her as Jazzy Junk. And she has this bookcase here. And then this is the larger of her two booths. A lot of littles. Try not to move too fast. And every inch is covered in our vendor spaces. And then over to the smaller booth. Only a few pieces of her shelving are not for sale. The majority of her furniture, the tables and then that, are all for sale. So there was a beautiful picture here. I featured it last night during my Facebook Live, and it did sell from that. So again, if you can watch the replays and on YouTube if you don't want to do Facebook, and if it hasn't sold, you can still purchase it. Or you can hop on over to our Facebook every Wednesday night at 5:30 Eastern Central Time and participate in the live event itself. And all you do is say sold, and the item is yours. There is no registration for our Facebook Lives. And we do ship, like I said, the smaller items. So today we actually have a lady in Texas, and we're shipping to her son in Arkansas. So not a problem. If you want something shipped somewhere, even if you're local here in Andover, and you want us to send something out to Texas or Wyoming or whatever as a gift, we will gladly do that. Just let us know if we need to pop in a gift card in there or anything. We will do that as well, so they know where it's coming from. So this is Belmont Farmhouse. I did feature this painting today, which I looked up this artist, and her stuff does go for a pretty good penny. And then it's 30% off of that $125. 1969. It's called Girl from Spain. Just a very haunting picture. I love it. Doesn't need to be framed. And so she has this space. Here is her booth. And like I showed you, that bookcase up front. And she is a 30% off vendor. And this is Belmont Farmhouse. We are in the great room, as we call it, because this is the large room. You can see it's very much like a barn back here. No, that bench on the left is not for sale. That is my bench. And we have storage up there, but it's not really easy to access. And it's just plywood down. It's not practical. I mean, we make the best of it, but we have people wanting to get up there. Oh, there's a second floor. Not really. No, you can't walk up there unless you're a trapeze artist. I'm going to show you this real quick. So the other side is also like this. That's the board to go from side to side. And I seen Don do that. And I'm like, oh gosh, no. So I wanted to get one of those little, the little scissor jack, and just drive that around to get up and down in there and make me feel a little safer. Now this is the hip chick. We visited with her and Picking Wildflowers, who we're going to see shortly as well, last week. And she's also one of the 30% off vendors in the shop. Now I'm showing you this space. I'm going to tell you, April 1st, I mentioned this last night, April 1st, the hip chick is moving over to the booth next to her on the left, and our Jazzy Junk is expanding into more space. So that will be April 1st. And our vendor here, the Looking Glass, is 50% off items not marked firm, as she is leaving at the end of this month. And then behind me is our friend Picking Wildflowers, again, who we visited with on Tuesday night. She's got a lot of great baskets and stuff, and she is 20% off. And she was in Wednesday, so there might be some things that you see in here that you might not have seen on Tuesday night's video. And again, 20% off. And I mentioned that we are trying, as soon as we have time to get that one hooked up so you can actually see it lit up if it doesn't sell before we get it hooked up and lighted. I think that's going to make a huge difference on getting that gorgeous fixture sold. I think people just have to see it lit up. And then here is our other booth of Redreamable. And it's still in the process of, we're waiting for our HVAC guy to come back and finish doing what he's got to do so she can finish cleaning up a little bit more, because every time, as I said, it's up there. When you walk, you know, some of the little dust shakes down and stuff. So she wants to have that be done with before she brings in more and finishes cleaning up. So like I said, we're still a little bit of the odor is still hanging around, especially right where I'm standing, but it is not like it was last week. And it seems to have dissipated quite a bit every day, better and better. And we will be hitting it with we got the ozone thingy. We'll be doing that Saturday night after we leave. And this is the third booth of Burning Sensation Antiques. And you can see this is more of his primitives, crates, the heavier stuff, more of the metal, a lot of the canning jars. And you gotta be sure, like I've said, in all these booths to look up and look all the way down. He's 20% off. And like I mentioned, many of our now you can buy that post, that interesting post is for sale. Many of our vendors do come in at least once a week. Some of them we see 2 or 3 times a week, which is fantastic. They're bringing in stuff. It's not just to come in and say hello to me. It is to bring in more stuff to fill in all the spaces from all the things that you guys are all grabbing. So I just put this up tonight because it's only $16, so that's a very good deal. And Don would be able to ship that. It would have to ship by itself, but he could ship that. And then we're back to Andover Junction, which I mentioned to you earlier is the original Slackyville vendor and was the manager over there when it was Slackyville. Now this is the bookcase, the one with the empty shelf on the bottom that got destroyed, and Don just pulled that one up today from the back to put it here, so she will be coming in to fill that space. And then we go over to here is also Andover Junction, where she has her wall space. So she has these 2 bookcases, this corner as well as this corner here. And then we have all kinds of stuff mixed in between. We do have our vendors bring up the doorknobs and all that up to here. We try to keep that centralized so it's easy for when somebody comes in and they say, where are the vintage doorknobs? We have a lot of people in the area that are bringing their vintage farmhouses, you know, 1880s and older, and the Victorian homes and all that back to period. So they're replacing all those inexpensive little Home Depot doorknobs and stuff. They want the original. So like this would be probably a pantry door. It's a small door, and she's 30% off. So that's why I said where the vendor comes in. So this would be $10.50. But now we have vendor 67, Redreamable. So she's 20% off, so $16. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Nick. This is good to go. So that would be $16. But all the hardware in here, if it's not marked firm, is going to be at least 20% off. So, and like I said, every corner has stuff in it. So we're getting ready to transition over to spring. Let me just turn this back on because this is our Berg case. And this is, we have a ton of costume rings that we just got in all different sizes. And they are $10 and less. So they've been very popular, a lot of fun. These are not vintage keys. We do have some vintage keys. These are actually bottle openers. And you can put it right on your keychain. We actually have the Berg. It's 18 trays, and this is like mixed vendors. And when I mentioned earlier, the coin is the third vendor that does not have the discount, the trains, the general store, and the coins. He is actually in here. And unfortunately, this only goes one way, but we're happy it just works. I mean, this was a bucket list. It took us forever to actually get somebody to get back to us and sell us one of these. So here come the coins. We only have one of the $40. Those are by weight. Silver went down. These were $50 a few months ago. Now they're $40. And I guess we'll clean this up a little bit. We had a lot. You can see it was very active little cabinet this past weekend. So we do have space. I have a bunch of V-nickels and stuff coming back in from our coin guy. We have these really cool pocket watches. They are new, but they're so much fun. They're quartz. You just pop them open. My son I let him keep one of the, that's One Piece, the anime. And we have a lot of the Nightmare Before Christmas and those. And all the pocket watches are just $10 each, and they are quartz operated. So they're a lot of fun. We've been doing very well with those. People love those. We do have one other vendor in here, I believe. Let me hold this up. Kind of hard to see it like that. So we do have our vendor, Vintage Crush, is in here. So here she comes around. So you can see this is also Vintage Crush show. So that is Gray Barn. We started up here at the front, worked our way all around, and like I said, this is just a walkthrough. Oh, and all the costume jewelry is up here for the most part. Each one of these drawers has stuff in it. So we have the vendors bring up things like, you'll see multiple vendor numbers in here because people come in and ask for weights, and try running around a shop and finding each and every one of them is a nightmare. So we had them put them up here. All the holiday brooches and Christmas pins are all right in here. So if you come in looking for that, right here, it's all nice and simple. We have it going over there, a couple of lock cases. Now this is the little, this has multiple sides as well for lots of littles, but right here you see keys. We have the vendors put all the keys here because the keys are so popular. That was another thing that people will come in and ask for. These are neat little key fobs. And these are actually 20% off. So that'd be $12. And there's some really cool ones like John Deere. We got a whole bunch of those. And then this little cabinet underneath is also a hodgepodge of costume jewelry. It must be on a little angle here. It doesn't want to stay open. So each one of these drawers, Don has taken the time to label them and make sure that's what's in there. So that is our costume jewelry area. And again, like I said, we walk into the front, we have the case room, and then back up, and then you go into the great room, which we visited. We will keep continuing to do our YouTube videos as well as our Facebook and Instagram posting. I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on doing some more of these tours on a more regular basis. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining us at Gray Barn Antiques in Andover, New Jersey.